I am so thrilled to be sharing with you what we are doing for history this year. I was a history major in college. I love history. I love putting things together. This is not to say that you have to have all these materials at all. I just get a little bit obsessed, and it's fun to drag out the subjects like I did with my Indigenous Peoples unit. It lasted a lot longer than I had originally planned, but the kids were learning and they were excited. And it fit. It worked really well. So our primary curriculum here is the Around the World with Picture Books. These are amazing. There is volume 1 and volume 2. We actually started using this. As you can see, we have some of the printouts already made. We actually started using this several years ago. We got through Egypt, China, Japan, and India, which was wonderful. And instead of spending maybe a week or two in each country, we ended up spending a whole month or so in each country, and it was amazing. This curriculum has, for each country, it has many picture book options. They have a curriculum pack that includes some of the picture books, but they extend into biographies and many different paintings that you can explore from that culture, as well as food. And they have wonderful recipes that you can try at home with your kids. Alongside of the work, they also have these great printouts that you can print and color and then paste into some notebooks. These are such beautiful notebooks, and let me just show you what my children did around the world to start my visit to China. And so they were very young when we did this. This is 4 years ago. My daughter was 6. She loved to write. You can learn about the animals that are in that country, my visit to India, the flag, and then talking about the rhino, so many fun things. So we're gonna continue that. They're gonna start new notebooks because we did this several years ago. It's such an amazing curriculum. I love it so much. So the first volume goes through, let's see, it goes through Asia, Antarctica, Australia, and Africa. And the second volume goes through Europe and South America. So I have several books here. I have some book piles that I'll go through briefly. We've got some Antarctica cards from another homeschool blog. Penguins, we're gonna read Without You, The Emperor's Egg, and Solo. There are also going to be many more suggestions that we're gonna get from the library. Are we there yet? This is Australia, as well as Mirror. This book shares 2 stories, 2 cultures. One is from Australia and the other is from Morocco. So that will fit in with Africa as well. For Asia, we had several books, and we've gone through some of these already when we did India, Japan, and China, but we might just touch on them a little bit, or this gives us the opportunity to look at other countries like Thailand and the Philippines. There are so many great books here for different countries in Asia. And the Beautiful Feet Press, they have republished many of these books by Anno. So this is Anno's China, and there are many books by Anno going through Europe as well. Those are gorgeous books that I highly recommend if you're going to do the unit. Those are worth buying. So for Africa, I have a stack of books for Africa here that we will read together. And again, when we go through every single country that is included, not all the countries because that would take a long time, we will touch on some of these and then get others from the library. This was a beautiful proverb book that I received from a friend. Love that. South America, I don't have very many books for South America. That is a gap in our book collection, but we have a couple there. This is part of their pack. Love that one. And the Kapok tree, I had that since I was a teacher. And then Europe is touched on, art masterpieces to color. That is part of the program. And we'll be doing that. Anno's Journey. And there's Italy and Spain and Denmark. Let me show you inside of one of these because they're so beautiful. And the curriculum inside their book is going to tell you what to find and the significance of those things, so you don't have to guess. But here's some more books from around Europe. We all love Stregonona. So with that, I like to add things. So I'll be adding extra atlases and such. So I have a big pile of atlases here, and one of them is included in the curriculum. The bottom one, maps, is included, but we are gonna look at these countries through the lens of some of these other great ones, like this one from Usborne. Now, you may have noticed that the curriculum doesn't include North America. We just finished a whole year of studying Native peoples of North America, and after our Around the World year, studying the other 6 continents, we're gonna go back to, well, really British history and the Vikings, and then early Northern American history. That's what we're doing. But anyhow, this is great descriptions there. Timelines of world history, we'll touch on this one, probably not in too much detail, but it goes through what's happening in some of those countries. My son will be assigned to read some of that and narrate for me, which narration, of course, is going to include writing down some sentences of what he learned from the book and how he can incorporate those ideas himself. So this book, the Usborne Book of World History, goes through different places around the world from maybe 650 AD to 1450. So it's going to have a chunk of pages all about that. Window on the World, this was part of the My Father's World curriculum, and it talks about reaching people for Christ in various countries and what language they speak, how you can pray for certain cultures. So that is really neat. My Father's World also has a great Around the World program. So we're using a couple things from them that I'll show you. These next 2 are from Master Books. Okay, so that's North America, which we won't touch on. There's China, talking about Mandarin. And then Children's Atlas of God. So Saudi Arabia here, it's going to touch on some of those topics. The flag and its meaning, and various things. So they can look through, where our focus is really to, we'll have a country for that week, or we'll be in a big continent, and then for that week we'll talk about that country and really hone in on details about that. This one is from Classical Conversations, Cartography. This is just gorgeous. So that one is going to help us with historical maps, how political lines are drawn. This is the World, is a beautiful global treasury that goes through many different cities around the world. You're going to see the cities listed there. So several cities in Europe, all the way to Hong Kong, Australia, Greece, and some in North America. So we'll just read a couple of those sometimes. Pretty easy and fun. They're going to be generating many ideas. Now, finally, maps is the one that Beautiful Feet recommends. So you definitely need this one. It is gorgeous. Here is India there, and you can see beautiful pictures of different cities, animals that live in those countries, and different significant cultural things going on. It's a celebration of our wonderful world. In addition to that, we got this cute book from The Good and the Beautiful, Amazing Archaeological Digs. I have a huge passion for archaeology. I actually spent a month on a dig one time, a long time ago before I was a mom. But you can see here that many digs are covered. So I'm just gonna take that as a guide and just get this book out so my kids can see, yeah, this history is real and they're digging up the history right now. Another resource from The Good and the Beautiful that we're using is this sweet book called Ming's Pony and Other Stories from Around the World. And this includes stories from, let's see, China, Japan, the Philippines, Portugal, Mexico, and the United States. So sweet stories that we can read together. Definitely love that sweet book. Now, in terms of books that we'll be reading, this is many picture books I'll be reading aloud to my children, and primarily to my younger girls. My son is in 6th grade. He doesn't like to spend as much time on the couch reading, and I've accepted that, but he does have a lot of reading to do. In addition to what he does for language arts, which is The Good and the Beautiful, they have 4 books that go through geographically in the world, and they incorporate all of their lessons with that one book. It's beautiful. He just finished the one about Chico of the Andes. So for South America, that was wonderful. And then they have a book about Native Americans as well as a child in Maine. And then another book about Germany. So that's going to be what he does apart from our world history. But these books are what he's going to be assigned by country. So we have several great, this is Newbery Award winner, Call It Courage. So this is based in the Polynesian Islands. We have The Lost Kingdom, which is based in Asia, about a Hindu boy. Li Lun, which is a Lad of Courage, based in China. Pengo of the Congo, based in Africa. And then we have an English story and a Norwegian story, as well as this story is based in the Philippines. So those books, it won't be perfectly set, but my intention is that he'll read a book, and he always does his written narration about what he read for that chapter of the day. He'll write that in his narration notebook, and that will keep him reading beautiful literature with high moral value. And when he's missing out on some of the picture books, of course he's welcome, and I want him to read with us, but sometimes he doesn't always get to that, and that is okay. We have other materials too that we're going to incorporate. These world reference maps, the children are going to be coloring in where we are learning from. I was searching and searching what is the best map, and this is what I found. So I'm going to pick what pages we're going to work in. It's not going to be all the pages by any means. Let me find here. So Asia, there's a physical map, but there's also political maps. And the idea is familiarity with those geographic lines. And each of them will have one of those as we all work together. And definitely my oldest will be part of that too. Every time we go through the country, they're going to be going through their little passport. So they've already included these. I still have them when we started. So USA, where we live, China, India, and Egypt has been included in those. And those stickers are coming from these amazing flag sticker books from Usborne, where each of them will get to add that sticker to their passports. I love doing this, really hands-on. That they're traveling to that country. The girls will get to do the sticker dolly dressing around the world, which is really fun because you can see some beautiful costumes worldwide. So for Peru, you're going to put on their beautiful costumes, and that will be really fun. I have to teach them patience. They can only work on the costumes of the country that we're in or continent that we're in. That will be fun. Now, this is the other tool that I'm using from my father's world. This is a currency kit. And this currency kit has money. So when they get their passport, they're going to get money for that country. And it's just a really fun way for them to, feel like they're traveling to that country. That will be fun. As well as I have these on mission. This is from Gentle and Classical Press. And I'm thrilled about these for whatever country we're in. And the countries are dictated by the Beautiful Feet curriculum, the countries that we'll be doing. So let me just show you here. And you can see the full spectrum of their contents on their website too. But for example, Africa is going to be Morocco, Egypt, Tanzania, Kenya, and Ghana. And so for these on a mission, these are beautiful. Here's Australia. We will be going through this together, reading through it. There are crafts involved, stories of missionaries, I believe, breakfast, day in the life. Really sweet. I am very excited about these. This is going to make our study go much longer, but I think these are a great addition. Again, we might not get to all of them, but let me just show you the ones that they have so far. They're coming out with Ukraine, coming here pretty soon, any day now to my house. That was Vietnam, Saudi Arabia, a lot of beautiful photographs, which I love. India, making these countries and the people of these countries and their culture truly come alive. Ireland, Guatemala, Nigeria. So Nigeria wasn't a country mentioned in the beautiful feet, but we will travel to Nigeria and learn all about Nigeria there. So here is Brazil, Ethiopia, and the Netherlands. Have a couple more. When we're traveling to Europe, I will be using The Beauty of Norway, which is a gorgeous book that The Good and the Beautiful had special edition, just some beautiful artwork, gorgeous artwork. In fact, we'll also be reading some Norwegian folk tales that will probably be for at night. And the last thing I wanted to share is that we will be going through this book, Seabird by Holling C. Holling. And this seabird is going to be traveling around the world with us. So that will be really interesting as we learn about waters. In addition to this, our science this year is going to be water in our world and ecosystems from the good and the beautiful that will all kind of tie this together. I'm not too concerned that everything isn't completely cohesive. It's just fun to learn and have their minds opened up to these concepts so they can derive certain passions all on their own. Hopefully this has helped you. You certainly don't need all these resources. If you just had around the world, just pick one of the two. The second one has Europe and South America. The first one has Australia, Africa, Asia. And just really enjoy that time spent together with the picture books, slowing down, cooking together, baking together, and creating some art based in those different cultures. So we are very excited, and hopefully we'll be sharing lots of pictures and more on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks, everybody. Bye.